Now that it's doing it.
Go ahead. Verify. So this is take one of the KTP from start to finish. Kat is the trainee, and she will be doing the edification. I think it's that we are. Can you please adjust it back?
Yeah, we will. We will.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. 3, 2, 1, action.
I got an idea. Hold on. Can you write it out real quick?
I can do it really quick. I'll do it.
No, you don't know. Just say it out loud.
Yes, I do. I'll do edification.
All right, I'm gonna one. Go. Thank you. Sit down. It's very important for my training. First, I thank John. He shared some financial concepts and some education that was really life-changing for my family. He was able to implement and put a plan together that I was really, really excited about. So I asked him for a favor. I asked him to sit down with people that have the same type of with them as well. That's how the training should edify. The edification process really be used to share that information with people. At that point, the trainer would take over and then start thanking the person for their time. So, Brittany, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to sit down today. This type of financial concepts and information that was shared can also be very beneficial. So, I feel that you're really going to get a lot out of it today. Do you have any questions before we get started? So, what questions? Share with you some information and then we'll go from there. That way I'm able to customize my presentation. That way we're talking about things that's relevant to you and your situation.
No kids.
So no kids not married. Maybe in the future, something like look forward to?
Probably not.
Okay, gotcha.
Right. I work for Wells Fargo. I work on the corporate end for them, and I take care of the clients basically.
Awesome. How long have you been working for Wells Fargo?
It kind of fell in my lap.
Okay.
And it was something that I wanted to get into because I really like helping people.
Okay.
And I wanted to learn about money and finance. Full-time schedule from dusk till dawn. That's how it goes.
How do you feel about that?
You know what? I mean, it's always to me. I like the environment. There's always something new to learn.
Okay.
It's the driving that really gets me.
Any dislikes about what you do?
Oh yeah, the driving. I literally work o'clock, and then even after I'm done with work, I can't leave till extremely late to come home because of all that.
Driving back and forth is kind of like a part-time job, just in that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. So let's talk a little bit about some dreams. 1 to 3 years. What are some of those things that you've been thinking about?
I definitely want to put a down payment on a house. Also traveling. I definitely plan on doing that, and retirement as well. Education funding.
A lot of things you've really been thinking of.
Yes, definitely.
So in the long term, what are some things that you've been thinking about as far as goals and things like that cost money?
Honestly, I get my dream home.
Okay.
Out here in LA, and then making sure that my sister's education is taken care of and that's funded.
Awesome. So you are thinking about retirement savings, all of those types of things.
Yes.
It's on your mind.
Yes,
okay,
definitely.
Good. So would you say with what you're doing, earning enough move to LA, being able to fund your sister's education for college and things like that, being able to put money aside for savings, for retirement, and then also having money set aside. Okay.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's what I'm working towards right now.
Okay, and when do you see yourself getting?
I really think about it. I can never do it at the job I'm at, so I have to take this on along with something else. So just doing everything. I do something else.
So let me ask you a really important question, then, Brittany. If your job won't allow you to be able to accomplish all of those things, what's really more important to you? Living in your, doing your job, or continuing that? Good answer. If I was able to show you a way to make or earn additional income, is that something that would even be of interest to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. You know what? That's so important. A little bit of actually work, but I found myself in a position where I didn't have time. I was continuing to drive back and forth to work in the same similar position, but I had to be able to put myself in the ability to be able and be able to do all those different types of things. So I'm going to explain a little bit about what we do, and then we'll go from there. How does that sound?
Perfect.
Have you ever heard of the Aegon Corporation? Is a that's been in business for over 160 years. We're a publicly traded company. We're traded on 6 different exchanges around the world. We do business. Forbes magazine did an annual ranking of the world's most profitable companies, and out of the top 2,000 worth of 40. So it could sound like a lot of money, or it could sound like a little bit of money. I really like to put that into perspective by comparing it to companies that you've heard.
Yes.
Apple, Disney, Walmart.
Yep.
Would you agree that those are pretty big companies?
Yeah. Those are
Disney alone is together, they still fall short about $50 billion. That's how large our company is.
Wow.
Pretty big, right? So in 2000, in the United States, excuse me, they sent out their top analysts to go out and do research on all the companies that were in the United States to accomplish with families. Our model is no family left behind. So we're passionate about being able are you familiar with Transamerica?
That's in San Francisco, right?
Yeah, this is actually one of our headquarters at Transamerica corporate headquarters in Mexico, Baltimore, Louisville. Been up to San Francisco, you've definitely seen this building. It's a staple of the city. It's been there for over 120 years.
Wow. Okay.
So the company that fit that Transamerica actually on it.
Okay.
So, companies. Which ones?
Pacific Life, Transamerica, of course.
Pretty big, pretty reputable companies.
Yes.
Nationwide, just to let you know, if I was to ask you how much money you spend on advertising,
Couple million.
Nationwide actually spent $1 billion in marketing and advertising. So you know one thing. We talked about ING is a leading expert in retirement and specialty. Pacific Life's been around for 140 years and is also a university. Is actually on which their name will change to Transamerica Reserve Life later in the year.
Wow. Okay.
So the reason I mentioned you was for a couple of one when I was had the ability to offer you products and services from Wells Fargo Bank.
Okay.
Right? So right now you can only offer Wells Fargo Bank. Just say individual we sit down with the family, being able to have options. We don't have our own products. The top companies only work with AAA rated companies, only very, very large companies and institutions. We don't work with small companies like Farmers, Prime. Makes sense? So the benefit to you is really this. I don't have any predetermined product, service, or company. Just from an educational perspective, and we can take all of the biggest companies around, their products and services, and really identify what the individual or the family's need, able to match. Because now this puts me into a position to where I can really do what's right by families, for individuals, and companies that are around.
Wow. Okay.
I'm going to show you what we do. We have families in the following 6 different areas, and I'll ask you. You let me know if you think that these things are important.
Okay.
The first area that we help families is $1,000 to $2,000 a month.
Everybody.
Lots of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are hurting. You know what, Brittany? What's really interesting is that the average family can be saved from earning a day.
Wow.
Families within. This is one that I found that was really important because before somebody sat down and did exactly what I'm doing with you, I when it came to managing so much with accountability for where it's actually going. So what we do is we help families to prepare their game plans. So what and then for the month there's really nothing left over.
Mm-hmm.
The next area that we is in the every challenge with their game plans to get out of debt. So we help them develop a game plan that allows them to get out of debt in the quickest amount of time, spending the least amount in interest. Make sense?
Okay.
29 years old, together a plan for him. Had he not sat down with us, he would have spent 43 years paying off his debt and $208,000 together. Pretty powerful.
That's amazing.
The most amazing part actually about that, Brittany, is that we were able to do that utilizing the exact same money. Next thing we help families with is with proper protection, and what I'm referring to is life insurance. So, was to ever happen, you want that person to be completely taken care of for life.
My sisters, for sure.
Your
2 younger sisters don't have any life insurance.
Wow. And that, I'm really passionate about this because most people don't have an understanding of the proper use of life insurance or an understanding of how they think it's to themselves. This is only something that's used in the event that somebody passes away. Money. This is a retirement strategy for affluent families for a number of generations, and I'll kind of explain a little bit more about that as well.
Wow. Okay.
The next thing that we help families with every position to retire.
Yes.
So, do you want to be in a position to retire for 5 or 10 years, or do you want to be in the position to where you're able to retire? And allow individuals and families to be able to accomplish that. The number one thing is making sure that you have that plan in place, because your plan for retirement has to outpace inflation, which is the cost on with the cost of inflation.
Okay.
The second thing that we help families with is to minimize taxation, because that's going to be one during is to have a proper plan in place to accomplish that during retirement.
Very important.
Very important, right? We teach families how to set up an emergency fund, income, lose their job. Comfortable feel knowing that you have 3 to 6 months worth of all of your expenses are put away at the end of that.
That peace of mind.
People are really nowadays. They're just looking for the peace of mind to know that they're going to be okay and their family's okay. Make sense? And last family, and that's put together a plan, because if you don't have one, the government does, and it's called probate and the state taxes. Work your assets for your family. You want to make sure that those things are protected so the government doesn't give up.
Okay.
Would you agree that these 6 things are important?
Absolutely.
So what expensive, and middle class America is generally overlooked when it comes to putting together this type of plan for people. We do this for families complimentary.
Wow.
See, the first time somebody's ever sat down with me, asked me what my goals, what my dreams were, and was able to devise or put together a specific. Sometimes I'll even say, just to kind of hone in on it throughout that part of the presentation, I'll let them know, I'll ask them to agree, and this is a closing question. Wouldn't you agree it's better to have a plan? Okay. This is a lot. Have you seen this concept, or are you familiar with it?
No.
What this concept typically states is this. During your younger years, you're generally what I an income, you're having a family for the first time, you're purchasing cars, home, you're getting older. What's supposed to happen is that you pay off the house, you pay off the cars, you accumulate wealth, and then you retire. They're working, right? They continue to work. So the law of building equity or building wealth says this. It's important to start that from a young age. Up in that same position. Lots of families nowadays who didn't properly plan end up moving in with their kids. They don't have enough income, have no idea. They fall into it. It's not that people plan to fail in life, it's that they literally fail to plan. Does that make sense?
Wow. Okay.
The rule of 6 is a powerful rule. If you don't remember anything else of what I talk about today, remember this one, because it's how you attain.
Okay.
So Albert Einstein developed the rule and called it the 8th wonder of the world. Anytime that you take the number 2 and you rate your game, how long it's going to double. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So let's just use basic mathematics. Let's take right now, if we were to open a savings account with Wells Fargo, what interest rate is Wells Fargo giving you?
They're not giving any interest rate, really.
Okay, so 0.1%. The bank's being very generous, and they're giving you a 1%, which they're not. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you take 72 and you divide that by 1, it's 7. So that means 2 years for your money to become $200.
Wow.
Is that a good deal or a bad deal?
It's horrible.
Pretty terrible, right? So let's take a look at 4%. 4% is just the amount that's needed to keep up with the cost. We'll say that doubles every 18 years. So if you had 10 grand and you're 29 years old, by 37, you $3,000. To retire off of?
No.
No, you probably wouldn't. Maybe a year or two, and you're back into the job force, right?
That's like 1 year.
1 year, right? So at 6%, this works. At 31, you have 20. At 53, you have 4,000. At 65,
No.
at an 8% rate of return, by 65, you have $160,000. What I want to notice is the house. It's the same amount. Anything we're is the interest rate. Let me ask you a question, Ben. You work hard for your money,
Very.
so do you think it's important for your money to do the exact same work for you?
Yes.
6 years. So by 65, you have more than $500,000. You have $640,000.
Wow.
Let me show you the banks are very. You open a credit loan, a car loan, personal loans, student loans, any type of loan that you're getting from the bank, they're charging you an interest. And they give you 4%. So when you're 65 and you're ready to retire, you have $40,000. They have $6,000 investment. Is this bad? Into the banks, put your money where the banks put their money.
I want to put my money where the banks put
Where
their
the banks put their money. So I'm going to share with you right now what you think your best option is. Okay? There's 3 areas in which the IRS allows you to make a decision to put your money. Like that. You have one industry that's called tax now. You have another industry that's called that's